Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of our I Don't Work Here Lady, where people get mistaken for being employees at places they don't work at. So thanks for tuning in today guys, and let's jump right in. Pulled out an Uno reverse card. I work at a company that installs custom closets. Our uniform includes a blue button-up Carhartt shirt with the company logo on it. I think some of you may already be picking up on where this is going. So I'm driving home from work after a very long and tedious day, completely covered in sawdust, when I get a call from my lovely wife. She had put in a pickup order at the local Walmart, but they had failed to give her our almond milk. She asked if I'd be willing to stop and let them know they shorted us and grab it. While I'm not particularly enthusiastic to add a stop on my way home, I tell her okay. I get there and head on over to the customer service desk and explain the situation. The lady working there is very sweet and tells me she'll have somebody from the pickup department swing over and take care of me. She gestures towards a nearby bench and informs me I can have a seat while I wait. I gladly did so and promptly pulled out my phone and attempt to disassociate for a few minutes. A few minutes, maybe 5 at most, go by and a line forms up. I guess the lady at the desk stepped away for a moment. I start to hear grumbling about lazy employees and how nobody has any work ethic anymore. I wish I could be more specific on their exact phrasing, but I was trying very hard not to pay attention to anything going on around me at this point. After a few more moments, I hear a very aggressive clearing of a throat, followed by a very annoyed sounding, "Excuse me, sir, I've been waiting for help for over 10 minutes. I look up to see a woman holding an armful of clothes glaring at me. And I say, "Well, I find that unlikely as I haven't even been here for 10 minutes, and I got here before you." And the woman responds with, "Well, maybe this would go faster if you weren't messing around on your phone." At this point, I've now connected the dots and realized that she thinks I work here. I'm about to utter the words, the classic "I don't work here" line, when an idea hits me. "You're right, sorry for holding you up," I said. I pull up the Walmart app on my phone and show her the almond milk before saying, "My wife and I didn't get the almond milk we ordered. We were supposed to get 2 cartons. "Why are you showing me your phone?" responded the woman. "So you can grab me my almond milk. Is that not why you're here?" "Ew, no, I don't work here." Cue my malicious grin. "Well, neither do I. How about we stop bothering each other now?" I said. She looked me up and down, and I could see realization dawn on her face. She quietly walked back to the line, and I sat back down on my bench. Eventually, the desk lady came back and got the line moving, and an employee from pickup came and got me my almond milk. And that's the story. At least she didn't try to get me fired. Now that's a great way to shut someone down when they're doing this stuff. If they're going to be oblivious like this and be rude to you without even using their brain, then you might as well just be oblivious right back, so they can see how dumb they look. Out of all the different "I don't work here" situations we hear about, this is probably one of the best ways to deal with it. Because as we know, just simply saying "I don't work here" doesn't always work. Lady thinks I may not be sure I don't work here. We had the sewer line back up into our basement bathroom this week. While waiting for the plumbing crew to resolve the issue, I headed out to the local hardware and feed store for supplies and gear to clean up the basement. Walking in, I said hi to the cashier and headed back to grab some PPE and other supplies. As I reached the middle of the store, I passed a group of 3 staff, all wearing their red aprons with name tags, and a woman headed towards the front of the store. The woman snaps her fingers a few times as she steps in front of me and says, "Hey, you work here, I need some help." I look down at my ratty t-shirt from the Disturbed tour, my torn jeans, and my literally crappy boots, smile and say, "Nope, sorry, but they do," pointing at the group of staff just a few feet away. Then the woman says, "Are you sure you don't work here?" I rolled my eyes and kept walking, while one of the guys in an actual branded apron and name tag asked her what she needed. I ran into the woman at the cash register, where she had drifted into Karen land, arguing with the cashier about how they didn't have the right size of bag of feed she wanted. She wanted a 20-pound bag. They were out of 20-pound bags, and he offered to substitute 4 5-pound bags, which wasn't good enough because it isn't the right size bag. I told her the store in the other end of town had the right size, so she left. I lied because they are hardware only, no feed, and are closed for renovations. Oh man, you just know that when she heads to that store way across town and finds out that they're not even open, she's heading straight back to that first store to complain about OP to the manager. Because based off what happened, it seemed like there wasn't even a moment where she realized that OP didn't work there. So you just know she's heading straight back there to raise hell about OP sending her on a wild goose chase. Random lady thinks my hearing aids are AirPods. Oh my god, I have one. Never did I think I'd have a story for this sub. Wow, okay, I'm still in a state of rage. So I just got home from good old Mart of Walls. I knew pretty much what I wanted, so I didn't bother with the cart. Of course I get distracted, and I end up in the kitchen cutlery aisles, and I'm idly looking at things and putting them back on the shelves. I guess that made me look like a worker? I don't know how. I am wearing a dress. Whatever. So I am hard of hearing. I wear hearing aids. They're rose gold and awesome, badass tech in my ears. Since I'm shopping, I have no reason to think someone would be needing my attention. But this entitled mother was trying to get my attention. I see this woman, and she says, "Finally, I've been chasing you down the aisles." I'm thinking I must have something loose or I dropped something. That she thought I was a worker just did not occur to me. You really shouldn't wear those while you're working. She's out of breath. Her little toddler is babbling away, oblivious. I'm still clueless. Where what? I asked. The AirPods, she said. Fun fact, as someone who is hard of hearing, I mishear things, and it took me forever to understand what she said. I thought she said their pods. So I ask, whose pods? Your pods. What pods? I'm looking down at my dress, thinking something had latched onto my dress. As I had my head down, this evil bat lady from hell grabbed my left hearing aid. It's squealing away and protesting, and I'm in such a state of shock. I went from baffled to pure rage in a split second. You give that back, now, I said. I clawed at my hearing aid and I wrestled it back from her. I'm trembling at this point. Don't touch me, I said. Entitled mom's kid starts crying from the sudden energy change. Look what you did. I was just saying that you shouldn't wear those while you're working, she said. I start walking away from her as I say, get away from me. If you come near me, I'll call the police and have you arrested for assault. What? Assault? But I growled at her. Yes, growled. And I walked away to find a store manager to tell them that they had a customer who just tried to take one of my hearing aids, but then I left. I was too outraged to get back to my lackadaisical meandering. Now, someone just grabbing a stranger like that is already bad enough, but to grab someone's hearing aid, even if you thought they were earbuds, that is just crossing the line. That's like taking someone's ears away from them. Like someone that's wheelchair bound, if you take their wheelchair away, you're basically stealing their legs. Not to mention how expensive hearing aids are in the first place. Just a quick Google search tells me, on average, they're about $2,000 to $3,000, sometimes more. No, this phone number isn't the disability office. When I moved to my first apartment, I got a landline and a new phone number. This was in 2001 in the US, so I didn't have a cell phone. I gave my new number out to those who needed it. Every day I would come home from work to 3 to 5 messages on my voicemail from people telling me their social security number, medical history, employer, address, etc. All protected information that I, as a member of the general public, would not ever need to know about someone. I called some of the people back, the ones who had left their phone number on voicemail, and they were very surprised to hear that the owner of the phone number was just a regular member of society. They thought they were calling a government disability office. I changed my voicemail message to be even clearer that it was mine and not the other place. I was still getting 2 to 3 calls like that every day. I looked up the office because I got the address of it from one of the callers that I called back. I called that office, and the receptionist was so surprised that the phone number they had at their old location was given to someone in an apartment. She promised to let everyone know. And I said I'd put their new number in my voicemail greeting, plus give it out to those I could call back. She thanked me profusely and said, "So that's why people haven't been calling back, and have been saying they called with information that we didn't get. Thank you for being an honest person." Now, what I don't get is why are all these people leaving such sensitive information in a voicemail in the first place? I feel like most legitimate establishments, especially a government-run disability office, probably wouldn't actually ask you to do that. Any correspondence involving that kind of info, especially a social security number, they probably would only ask for that stuff while you're talking to an actual human. So I would assume that the office never actually asked these people to leave this information on voicemail. Maybe just a name and a callback number at most. Sure, maybe the office could have done a better job about updating their phone number on wherever these people got it from, but I think most of the fault is on the callers in the first place. These are the exact kind of people that fall for scams because they're just too willing to give out information. Pro golfer mistaken for landscaper. Here's a story from 1965 about Lee Trevino, who just turned pro that year. One day, shortly after joining the PGA Tour in 1965, Lee Trevino, professional golfer and happily married, was at his home in Dallas, Texas, cutting the grass on his front lawn, a duty he performed regularly. Later that day, a lady driving a big, shiny Cadillac stopped in front of his house and asked, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" Lee responded, "Yes, ma'am, I do." The lady then asked, "How much do you charge?" Lee replied, "Well, the lady in this house lets me sleep with her." The lady hurriedly put the car in gear and sped off. Yeah, let this be a lesson. If you ever see someone doing yard work that's not white, don't automatically assume they're a landscaper. Maybe they just, live there. But I don't think I even need to say that. I'm pretty sure most of us know that. Well, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. If you enjoyed, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like on the video. It really helps me out with the algorithm. And also, be sure to subscribe for more Reddit shenanigans. Have an amazing day, everyone. Stay awesome, and I'll see you all next time.